hopefully I look familiar to you too. So welcome. I'm just going to go around the room and introduce all the staff that is here today. So to my right is Bill Darzik, the CEO. He'll get to talk in a little bit. And this is Elizabeth Nelson. Most of you either got a message from her or spoke to her on the phone. And back there's Allie. She's our administrator of our health center, in charge of the assisted living, the memory care, and the skilled nursing. And at this middle table, Torino, who works closely with Allie, he does all the admissions for our health center. So the assisted living, memory care, and skilled nursing and rehab, he's your guy if you want to be admitted to the health center. In the back corner is Maureen. I always want to make a joke about nobody puts baby in the corner, Maureen. She's one of our marketing and sales counselors, as well as Christine, who's standing up in the back. Christine Simpson is also one of our sales counselors. And last but not least is Michelle Birmingham. She is our marketing and advertising specialist. And I do want to welcome Danny from our ad agency, Mirror Matter. Danny's joining us too. He helps us create all of our everything. So great. Welcome everybody. I just want to go over the day. We're going to talk a little bit about life care and what a life plan is. Bill is going to talk about the expansion that we're having at Foxtrot, and then we have some time for a question and answer. And I'll get started. So has anyone been to Foxtrot in Orchard Park? Great, oh yay, awesome. Well, come on back. Anytime, let us know. So we are opened in 2007, and we are on 54 acres on the corner of 20 in California, for those who haven't been to the campus. We are a non-for-profit organization, and we're the only continuing care retirement community in the South Towns. Does anybody know the other continuing care retirement community in Western New York? I know Lizzie knows. Yes, Canterbury Woods. We're friendly competitors, and they are right down the street. So, but yeah, so we're only one of two. And what that means is that we guarantee care for life. So if you ever move into Foxtrot, you are guaranteed care for life, whether it's independent living, assisted living, memory care, or skilled nursing. You never have to worry about what's going to happen if my needs change. So with that being said, there are 3 different plans at Foxtrot, and there is some information in the back of the room and some business cards if you want more information, but there are 3 plans. You're going to choose one of these 3 plans. There's the 80% refundable, the traditional plan, or choice care, and we try to make something for everyone. In addition to this entrance fee, which is a one-time fee you pay, an upfront fee, kind of like an initiation fee, you could think of it as, there is a monthly service fee that you're going to pay for your meal plan, your activities, the programs, all the utility bills. We call that the monthly service fee because it's much more than just rent. But I'll get a little bit more into that in the upcoming slides. So the 80% refundable plan is the most popular, but it's also the most expensive. Sorry, I think I'm blocking the screen from some people. So it's the most expensive, but it's also the most popular. And what this does for you is it guarantees you care for life from all levels, from independent to assisted to memory care. But then when you leave the Foxtrot campus, if you wanted to go to Florida or North Carolina, 80% of that upfront fee, 80% of that entrance fee is going to go back to you or your estate. So it is money up front, but you or your family are going to get it back 80%. And the monthly service fee, which is a big thing, does not change as your levels of care change. So you could go from independent to assisted, and the monthly service fee isn't going to change. And then if you got better, you could go back to your independent living apartment, all while that monthly service fee didn't go up as your needs and the care went up. So then we have our traditional plan. So the advantage to this plan is it's 40% less expensive than the plan I just explained. So you're saving the down payment, you're saving about 40% off that initial fee. But again, the monthly service fee doesn't go up, you're guaranteed care for life. Just after 4 years, there's no return of that entrance fee to you or your estate, unlike the first plan I just explained. So you can pay less and not get it back with this plan, but still guaranteed all that care, or pay a little bit more with the 80% refundable and be guaranteed to get 80% back. And then there's the choice care plan, which is a little bit more complicated. Does anybody have an existing long-term care insurance policy? Great. So this plan, You can choose any of the 3 plans, but this plan was specifically made possibly to work in conjunction with your long-term care insurance policy. But again, you can choose all 3 plans. What we suggest is that you get out your long-term care insurance policy, dust it off, and maybe bring it into Foxrun, and one of the team members can show you how Foxrun works specifically with your long-term care insurance policy. But the entrance fee is still 80% refundable. So you're going to get 80% back on that entrance fee no matter when you leave Foxrun, either you or to your estate. However, the monthly service fee is going to go up. And that's where you can apply to your long-term care insurance policy, and they will write you a check and you write us a check. So it's a way to maximize some of those long-term care insurance dollars that you've paid so long into that policy for. So it's a little confusing. You still get 80% back. You're still guaranteed care for life. But we will specifically show you how it works with your policy if you bring it in. Every policy is different. And then the monthly service fee. These are some of the things that the monthly service fee includes. At your table, we can go over more specifics. I heard someone ask about the meal plan. We can talk all about that. But just so you know, you don't have to worry about all those extra fees and bills coming in each month. Foxrun takes care of almost everything for you. So worry-free living. And then I'm going to hand it over to Bill to talk about our expansion.
Thanks, Mary Lou. Good afternoon, everyone. As Mary Lou introduced me, my name is Bill Zarzak. I'm the very proud CEO of Foxrun. I've been with Foxrun now 15 years, 12 and a half of them as CEO, and prior to that, I was the CFO. So if you have any financial questions, I'd be happy to answer them. I'd be happy to make up an answer for you during lunch. So, I won the career lottery. I get to work at Foxrun. I get to work with such a great team, and together we operate. But one of my jobs, other than operating Foxrun, is to think of the future. Now, we have a great reputation. We're known nationally as a successful CCRC. You have to think of the future. We have to strategically plan. You can say we're doing a great job. We have a long wait list. We're successful. Let's rest on our laurels. Well, that's not how business works. We need to think of the future. So we engaged a development company and said, anything's on the table. Give us some ideas. Anything from doing nothing, staying put, to partnering with another organization, perhaps a collaboration, a satellite campus. And what we settled on was to expand within our own footprint. Now, back in 2019, we expanded our health center. So the next logical step for us was to look at independent living and increase the number of units that we have. So why are we doing that? Well, as I said, we need to plan for the future, but we do have quite a bit of market demand. Our wait list keeps growing. The interest in Foxrun keeps growing. But this also gives us a unique opportunity, not just to focus on adding new folks to Foxrun, but to enhance it for the folks that currently live there. And we're doing that by basically turning our common area upside down and enhancing the amenities. So the rest of the slides are going to be just talking points for what we're doing, but there's also some renderings similar to what you see around the room. So our vision for the expansion was to add 71 new units, broken down this way: 63 new apartments, 8 new patio homes, some folks call them cottages, and we use similar floor plans to what we have now, but we engaged our existing community members and said, if you could do something different in your apartment or your patio home, what would you do? So we were able to incorporate a lot of those little things, maybe a little more soundproofing. The washer and dryer are stacked right now, which doesn't really work for a 6'2" person. It's not going to work for somebody who might be 5 feet tall. So now we have side-by-side pocket doors, little enhancements like that you wish you had when you first built it. So we're incorporating some of those ideas from the folks that have lived here for 15 years. And the same goes for our patio homes. And this is just kind of a summary of what the plans include. The apartments will range from 650 square feet to 1350. The patio homes are 1500 to 2500 because we can incorporate a second floor. So those outer ring patio homes, when you look at some of the renderings, they're really cottages separate from the main building, and you can have 2 stories if you'd like. So this, it's probably hard to see for the folks in the back, but this is a drone view, a drone rendering of our current campus. This road right here is Big Tree Road, or 20A, and this is California Road. Way up here in the corner, this is the new Bills Stadium. So we're about a mile from the stadium, which is exciting, especially on home game Sundays. But I just wanted to give you a sense of, this is our main entrance off of Big Tree. This is our common area. Our common area is essentially the living room for everyone that lives at Foxrun. Our dining area is in there. 2 dining rooms. Our pub is in there. By the way, a pub is very important to Fox Run. It's a very social community, and I'll show you a rendering how we're expanding that. And it also has our wellness offices, our pool, our fitness center, all that in this area. And these wings here are the apartments, and these are the patio homes we talked about. So what we're adding is right here is a new neighborhood of patio homes. We're going to add a brand new wing right now. So currently where I'm pointing with this red dot is parking lot. So we're not invading any green space, but instead we're invading the parking lot and adding green space around it. And then there'll be 2 small wings back here. So the majority of our expansion comes in these areas, and then of course here. This green area, that's not a swimming pool, it's not an outdoor pool, it's going to be a pickleball court. So this is just a sense of what the new building is going to look like. Again, this is parking lot right now, this is our main entrance, and this is the brand new addition. This is actually 3 stories. It looks like 2 right now, but the 3rd floor is a half story because the town of Orchard Park requires you can't have 3 floors, you can have 2.5. So we were creative, and I'll show you what that means in a second when I look at our south view. So I'll jump right to it. This is the other side. So this is what the 3rd floor looks like. So it'll be facing one way, and the back side will just be the standard roof line, which matches our existing roof line. And I'll give you a better view right here. So this is our new south wing, and you can see it's pretty close to what we have now, except for the 3rd floor. But every unit, every apartment will have its own outdoor balcony or outdoor porch. Oh, and just to give you another sense of the look, this is the front side, and this is the exact other side of that particular view. So those are the apartments, very brief, but I wanted to talk more about the commons, the renovations to our amenities. So I'm breaking it down in 3 areas. We have dining venues, wellness activities, and entertainment district. One of the things we focused on, this gives you a new chance when you have a project like this, to really think about traffic flow logistics. We wanted to create separate areas. Right now things are spread all over the place. You opened in 2007 and you grow year after year. Well, now we're going to reorganize it and we're going to create these districts, these specific areas. But not just those 3, we're also adding a new art gallery. Our art gallery is very popular right now. I believe we have a 2-year wait list of local artists who come in, they do a show and then they display their work, and sometimes they sell their work. We're going to add a new gift shop. We're going to renovate our mailroom. We're going to add another 100 folks that will live at Fox Run. We're going to need more space for their mail and really make it easier to get in and out and access what you need. And of course, if you've ever been, for the folks who've been to Fox Run, I feel like there's a wow factor. You walk in the door, there's a winding staircase, and it feels like a ski lodge. There's a fireplace off to the left. Well, we're going to reorganize that, bring in a brand new fireplace, center to the visual point when you walk in the door. And our goal with all these renovations is to create more gathering space. You'll see it in the outside, you'll see it on the inside. We want to bring people together. Fox Run really has a reputation as being a social community. Our developer actually interviewed quite a few of our community members, and they really found that people like to be together. Now, yes, there are some folks who may want to be on their own or spend more time outside of the community, but if we're doing something special like this, we want to make more space where people can enjoy time with their friends and neighbors. So you'll see some of that in a second. Okay, let's start with dining. So we're renovating our Bob and Sally Beeler Oak Dining Room. So our venue right now is very nice, but if we're going to add more people, we're going to expand it, make it bigger, but we're going to reconfigure it as well. It's not going to be a big open room. We're going to section it out so you feel like you're in a more cozy environment. There'll be a fireplace in there. There'll be seating where you feel like you can have a little bit of privacy, but you're also part of your community. We're going to renovate our bistro and really kind of have the same impact. We're going to section things off and make it a little more comfortable. A new teaching kitchen. So this is independent living. You're all going to have your own kitchens or kitchenettes, and many people will be cooking on their own. Of course, you can use our meal plan and our 2 dining venues. But this teaching kitchen will give us an opportunity to take our classically trained director of dining services, our executive chef, and they'll be able to maybe create some meals that you would normally do on your own. And we'll use this teaching kitchen to kind of participate with our community members, and then you can take it back to your partner or patio home going forward. And this is kind of my favorite piece, is the new Fresh Market. So we had visited communities throughout New York State and Connecticut to see what are the new things that communities are looking for. This is a whole new generation of folks. And this fresh market is going to fit right in. It'll be essentially a small grocery store. You'll have your dry goods that you can purchase so you don't have to go out to the store, but then there'll be hot meals, maybe a couple soup options you can self-serve. There'll be cold meals such as salads, and a center counter with fresh bread and fruits and vegetables, so that'll be a nice addition to our community. Wellness. Right now, we do offer, we have fitness classes. Our fitness center probably couldn't accommodate a new influx of folks. So we're going to turn our fitness center upside down. We're going to expand it, double the size. We're going to add all new equipment. We're going to focus on our wellness area. An entire suite will now have a spa with a salon. We're going to add a massage therapy room, a wellness office which will be staffed with a full-time RN, and a private exam room because this RN will schedule doctors and physicians to come in. For example, a podiatrist, or perhaps if there's another physician through a partnership we have with a physician group right now, they may be able to come in and see people if it works out, if we can logistically work that out. And of course, a new creative arts studio. Right now, there's a lot of folks, artists and folks they really like their crafts, whether it's painting or whatever it may be. We have a room now that's kind of multi-purpose. This will be a designated room just for those folks who want to be able to be creative. And I'll show you a rendering of this. Oh, that's new. So this is the creative arts room. And the reason I really wanted to show this slide is this is my office right now. So they're moving me to the second floor, but I have this great window space and lighting. Well, now it's going to go to the community members and I'm going to lose my office. So you're welcome. Entertainment district. This is where our community members are most excited. As I mentioned, we have a pub and we have a happy hour 3 nights a week, and it's likely going to grow. So we're expanding our pub and billiards lounge, which is a great rendering, which I'll get to in a second to show you what that looks like. New gathering space. So right when you walk to our entertainment area, just before you get to the pub, there'll be a nice seating area with a fireplace, different height tables, so you can just really kind of choose where you want to sit or how you're feeling during the day and who you want to spend some time with. We're going to add a library and a card room right near in that same general area, a new small cozy theater. Right now we have a big event center where we'll show movies on weekends. We're going to make it a theater to give you more of that feel that you want when you go watch a movie. It'll be small, so we can have multiple showings. It'll be about 20 seats, comfortable seating. There'll be a marquee over the top, and I'll show you a picture of that as well. And this is the new one that's, again, through our tours of other communities, a golf simulator we're adding, which has been very popular. And that's not just for all of you, it's for staff. No, I'm just kidding. It's for children and grandchildren, and it'll be more than just golf. You can do other things. I think there's, I heard kickball and wii bowling, so there's a lot of things we can do with it. Let's take a look at what this looks like. Oh, this is our library, and this is actually beautiful. So our library is on the second floor. It's kind of a standard boxy room, but we're creating this visual gem where you can see the kind of a rotunda effect with the natural lighting coming in these tall windows. There's actually a turn to the left, which you can, there'll be some computers over there, and of course bookshelves. And I'd like to point this out. These two people right here, geniuses. Because if you look, they're playing Scrabble, and there's a 14-letter word. I counted all the tiles. I told you I'm an accountant originally, right? So there's 14 tiles, and I can't think of a 14-letter word, so they're really smart. So this is the view of walking, this is a rendering of walking into this entertainment area. So right here on the side, before you get to the theaters, that library I just showed you. And it's also, it can be a card room as well. And then here's the theater with the marquee, looks like Shawshank Redemption, Jaws is being shown. There's a golf simulator on your left, and you can see the comfortable area where folks can gather. A couch right here, you can see the fireplace. Looks like the Sabres are in here, and the Bills are there, so I think they're winning. And here is that bar I was talking about. And every time I do one of these, somebody asks me about this dog. Yes, we do allow pets at Fox Run. We have quite a few community members who have pets in both their apartments and in their patio homes. So we're doing a little bit of work to the outside too. So naturally I showed you those two south expansions, the two new wings that we're adding. That's going to create a new courtyard area. We're adding a gazebo, outdoor grill, a fire pit, again, gathering space. We like the idea of people being together and being part of the community. But we're also redesigning a bocce court. Bocce is very popular at Fox Run, and we're not getting rid of that. We're going to enhance it. We're going to add some landscaping and comfortable seating around there as well. Pickleball court with multi-use options. So currently, and you'll see a picture of it in a second, we have a pavilion. It's a picnic shelter right next to a resident-run garden. So residents have their own garden space with raised beds. And it really becomes a nice, again, gathering space, but we also do events there. By adding this pickleball court, we can do more dining venues. We can turn the court, we can put a tent over it, and turn it into an outdoor dining. And there's a new picture added to our slide deck, which shows you an event we had last year, a cocktail party followed by dinner. So we're again very excited about gathering. And I'll show you that picture. Oh, so this is the pavilion right now. It doesn't have this piece right here, but we're adding, you can see there's a grill, so it'll give us dining and again, seating options. And it's facing to the left, and that's where the pickleball court is. And you can see the court is right here. There's actually woods beyond here. This is just the way the drawings go. It looks like there's, I don't know, the ocean, but it's really, it's greenery right behind it. And to the left, this is our gardens with raised beds that is resident run. Everyone has a 4x4 square. A lot of tomatoes get planted at Fox Run. So I eat very well in the late summer. And this is a picture of the actual event that we had last summer. So you can see they're on the pavilion right now. These are residents being served dinner. And on the left side is where all the cooking was taking place. It was a grill. And this is the garden on the other side. There's some high tables and folks are having cocktails. Everyone's always happy when they're having cocktails. So you can see we're very excited, and there's a theme. We're enhancing the options, the amenities that we have, not just for the new folks that want to move in, but for the folks that live there now, because that's important to us. We want to make them happy, and they were involved in every decision that we've made. And of course, just gathering spaces I keep mentioning. So with that, I'm going to end with this slide and just leave it up here so you can get a visual of what we're doing, and open the floor for any questions you have about our expansion or anything else. I know Mary Lou went through the contract stuff. That was very high level. That's a lengthier discussion, so it's probably best if you sit with one of our sales counselors to really kind of talk through those options. Continuing care, life plan communities, we are a long-term care insurance product. So it does get a little complex, and as Mary Lou said, there's only 2 in Western New York, but there's only 13 in the entire state of New York, and we're one of them. So, time frame. So, unfortunately, we had hoped to break ground sometime within the next couple months, but as with anything else, we have to go through a process with New York State to get approvals. And when there's only 13 of you in the state, you kind of drift down the priority list. So we're waiting for approvals from New York State. We're hoping to hear something back from them within the next couple months. And until we get that approval, then we go through a process of financing, and then we can finally break ground. So we're going to break ground sometime, I'm guessing, late summer, hopefully by then. But again, we have to wait for those approvals. So we are excited, and the process itself, which we are told by our builder, who, by the way, is a mile down the street from Fox Run, Lehigh Construction. We wanted to go with a local builder who's been who did our last expansion, and they've been great with us. We work very well with them. We have access to the ownership, so if there's any issues or problems, or if there's a delay, we can work it out very quickly. And hopefully the build out will take about 2 years, 1.5 to 2 years. I'm finally done talking. Yes.
Well, with the expansion and an additional 100 residents, will your medical campus be able to accommodate all of those extra people?
Great question. So the question was, with the expansion, if we add 100 new independent residents, will we be able to accommodate those folks in our health center? So in 2019, we did expand our health center in preparation for the future independent living expansion. But right now, we're allowed to our health center is designed to accommodate contract holders. All of you who are going to be residents of Fox Run. It's for you. But we can take people from the outside. Right now, we have a pretty good percentage of occupants in our health center that are actually direct admissions from the outside. So our plan is, as more move in, we start taking less and less from the outside. So yes, we have to go through an actuary, and we have to go through Department of Financial Services to get this approval, and they make sure that we have the right ratio of health center accommodations to independent living. And we're still actually higher than most in the state, so yes, we should be able to accommodate everyone. Great question. Yes?
Any covered parking?
So covered parking, that's a great question. So right now we do have some limited carports, we call them. It's essentially just a covering with sides and backing to park in. We are losing some of our covered parking, but we did talk to our builders to see if we can add some after the expansion's done. But right now it is limited. The patio homes, they do have their own garages, so they do have covered parking.
How do you prioritize and allocate those limited spaces?
So the question is, how do you prioritize or allocate those limited spaces? There is a wait list. So if you want a carport, you would get on our wait list, and as one becomes available, we would just go down the order to see. It's first come, first served.
Charge for that.
And there is a charge for that, yes, a monthly fee for that as well. Any other questions for me? Yes?
So for those of us who are interested in patio homes, two key questions.
Yes.
Can you do your own gardening? And can you have bird feeders?
So the question is, these are good, that was a new question for me. So if you have a patio home, can you do your own gardening, and can you have a bird feeder? Yes, you can do your own gardening. In fact, we may hire you to do all of the gardening. Because so many of our patio homes, actually folks who are in apartments that have, there's gardens nearby their patio, they garden those as well. We help where we can. Most of it is resident run, and we do have bird feeders, but we do have a limit on bird feeders because bird feeders attract more than just birds. They attract ducks and bunnies and occasionally, so occasionally some other furry animals. Yes, back there.
If one but not both people in an apartment has long-term care, can you do the long-term care option financially?
So the question is, if it's, let's say a couple's moving in, only one of the couple has long-term care insurance. You can take any plan with long-term care insurance. As Mary Lou described, the Choice Care Plan is designed based on the pricing for folks who have that plan, because when you get to the health center, it shifts over to the full private pay rate. But I think, yes, we can accommodate that. We do have folks who one has a plan and one doesn't. I think that's a longer conversation. I think we should probably sit down and look at how the contracts work. Yes, you had one question, that was it.
There's a quota, right? I'm an avid pickleball player, and I know that pickleball is the fastest growing sport in the US and Canada. And it's appealing to all age groups. And it started out as a very senior-friendly game because the court is only 1/3 the size of a tennis court.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very senior-friendly.
Yes.
My question is, did you do any estimate of usage demand to come to the conclusion that one court would do it?
Great question. So the question was, right now, and I'm going to paraphrase, we have one pickleball court. It is such a popular sport, the fastest growing sport in US and Canada. Is that enough to accommodate this increasing demand? Well, I will tell you, yes, it is not just for seniors. My son started a pickleball club in college, and they actually played against a club from Penn State. So he goes to school in Pleasant. So it's very popular. So I got this question, and one court may not be enough. But that's what we're building to start. We did make sure when we have the engineers look at our spacing that they did things such that we can actually add 2 more courts right around it. So we can go up to 3 courts. Who knows, maybe we'll find space for more. Right now we're starting with 1 to see how it goes, and then we can increase from there. Yes. Yes, sir.
How is the long-term financial security of Foxtrot insured?
So great question, and that's more of a complicated question. So how is the financial security of Foxtrot assured? Well, I can tell you, as an example of this process of applying for the expansion is taking much longer because so many people are looking at it. We report to not just the Department of Health, but the Department of Financial Services. Everything we do has to get approved by DFS before we can move forward. For example, every year we do a budget. We budget to break even, to pay the bills, and to pay our mortgage. and we have to submit that budget to the state for their approval. If they feel there's a flaw, or we have some, or we're in financial trouble, they're going to come back and make sure we're doing what we need to do to stay ahead of things. Financially, I can tell you we're very sound right now. We have bond covenants, so for example, we need 180 days cash on hand. So for anyone who doesn't have an accounting background, if you calculate what it costs to run Fox Run per day, you need to take that number and multiply times 180. You need to have enough cash to cover it. We have 672 days cash on hand. So we have plenty right now. So what that means is we can not take it, Fox Run can shut down, nobody pays their bill, pays their service fee. We can survive for another 672 days before we start running into trouble. So we're constantly monitored by DFS, we're constantly monitored by our bondholders, and we have to report on, we have to publicly report our financial position every quarter. So it's kind of it's a little more complex than that, but the viability is constantly checked by the state and by the bondholders. And you're welcome to look at our financials, but we feel very confident. Our bonds are rated, so they're investment grade, they're BBB. You think, well, I think when most people think of bonds, they think of you need to be A-rated, but typically in the CCRC, only 10% of the CCRCs in the country have rated bonds, and we're one of them. So we are very stable and sound. Yes, sir.
I love pickleball.
Another pickleball question.
However,
Oh, yes.
we belong, we used to belong to a community in South Carolina that put in pickleball courts. It is a very noisy sport. And what they did was to put a heavy natural barrier of, I think they, I'm not sure what kind of trees, but evergreen trees that would muffle the sound. You're putting in the new patio homes right next to the pickleball, and that could be a problem.
So the point is pickleball is a very loud sport, and other communities may put up sound barriers. We don't have any plans for that right now. This is actually more distance than you think. I imagine you can hear this, but if it becomes a problem, I'm sure we can talk to the folks that are playing and make sure they do it at a time that isn't disturbing, say sleep, or in certain hours where it's more accommodating for the community. Everything we do, there's always something that we need to work out the kinks or talk to somebody who may wish we did things a little differently, and we do the best we can to accommodate all those. So if it did become a problem, we do our best to address it. Okay, I think because there's some folks that have some time constraints here, I'm gonna call it a day right now, but ask anyone at your table if you have further questions. I'm gonna be sitting over there. Like I said, if you have any financial questions, I will make something up for you, but you know where I'll be sitting. So thank you for your time and enjoy lunch.